Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, everyone. Hi. Welcome to our talk, and sorry to keep you guys waiting a couple of minutes. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Pinky Daga. I'm CEO for Thrive Art and Soul, and I'm here today with one of my dearest friends, most lovely guide, a goddess figure in my life, and so honored to have her. Hi, Ilona.
Hi, Pinky. I love you too. I'm
Love you
honored.
always.
Yes.
So just before we launch and have Ilona share all her wonderful wisdom with us, I would just like to invite everyone to sit back, relax with a nice cup of tea because you have officially now joined the Tea Talks by me. And before we do that, I just wanted to officially introduce Ilona. So Ilona is a best-selling international author. She's a speaker, she's a life coach, and she is an amazing guide. She has co created the Living from Vision course, which we will be speaking about further in this talk with her. And she has written a book called
Four books.
four books, and I have the names of them, but and I have read all of them. Ilona, you want to quickly tell them the names of the books?
Wisdom of the Dolphins,
Yes.
which talks about the power of consciousness in the holographic universe and the nature of consciousness interacting with reality and dolphins. The other one is Dolphins, Love, and Destiny, and the question about do we have free will or is it a predestined universe? And in which way do we have free will? It's another book is a children's book. It's Island Learns to Use the Imagination. It's out in Hindi. It's called Ravi. It's also available with guided meditations for children. And another book, the latest one, is Dream Big, the Universe is
That's
Listening.
yes.
And then I'm working on another book right now, which
Hmm.
is the 5 golden rules for living from vision.
Wow. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know you were working on another book, Ilona.
Yeah, it's 80%
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes, yes.
amazing. So, I mean, I have read and listened to and read experts from most of your books, and all of them have such great wisdom. Uh, I met Ilona, I just want to tell everyone, I met Ilona almost 19 years ago, and she did a workshop for us and with us, and the techniques that she taught me in that workshop is certain techniques that I still use till date, and they have undoubtedly transformed my life, and I know the lives of so many others. So I'm really, really looking forward to sharing Ilona's wisdom today with all of you guys. So Ilona, today we are going to talk about a topic which lots and lots of people are dealing with right now. Suddenly, life stopped. There's this big pause. We don't know. The future is uncertain. There's a lot of isolation and feelings of loneliness happening because now in India, people have been home for almost 2 months. There's fear, there's anxiety, there's grief over people who are sick. And also in India, a lot of people struggling with seeing what's going on with the migrant laborers, with the workers, with the people on the streets, really struggling to either just get home or even just get a good meal for them and their children. I mean, the situation is really not great
Desperate.
in this
Yes.
country, and so people are really going through, the more and more I speak to people, they're going through so much, and I was just hoping that you could help so much of our audience deal with all these emotions that are coming up right
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so interesting that we have all these same experiences right now. I'm talking to you right now from Bali. These are
now.
ceremonial umbrellas behind me. You're in
Yeah.
India. The audience that I'm here with you is in India. And um, we're here at the retreat center and we are under lockdown. So we currently have no guests. And of course, I have staff. And if I don't pay them, they don't have food. So, yes, we're keeping up our responsibilities. But whether you have people you care for or you're needing other people to think of you, we're all in a mode of really noticing how precarious we're balanced. in taking care of each other emotionally, physically, and mentally. And hopefully, we have built good relations with each other, because what really matters is, in the end, is the love that we share, which will be our bonds and our promises and our um, 1 second, I'm just closing one thing. And
Yeah.
it's the bonds and the love that we care and have developed that actually make the world go round. Whether the big picture and conspiracies left and right are blooming wildly, the one thing we need to focus on most of all right now are two things, I feel. It's the connection to a higher source, which I'm sure all of you already are doing, but even more so because you are here by design. You are in this moment. And I bet you, for many people that have been meditating for many years, you probably felt either something was coming into your life decades before it came. You
Mm.
knew something was coming. I think most of us knew something was coming. We just didn't know when. If you are new to meditation and new to figuring out how to connect to a greater source, the promise is that once you do, you are guided and guarded and protected from a higher dimension when you connect your own spirit to a higher source. So, all of us are in this precarious boat together, but the people who have been connected to a bigger perspective, the time space perspective, who've connected to soul awareness and are Akashic aware, reading the time space dimension more accurately than maybe the people who don't practice the higher dimensional cognitive functions of consciousness. If you belong to that group of people, you are more resilient and you will have known things in advance and you will probably have prepared. And if not, and if you're new to this, the good news is, as you start connecting to a higher dimension, which is part of what we will be practicing, what to do with our negative emotions
Yeah.
and then how to bring it in the connection with higher dimensions. Because we normally think that higher dimensions is about being nice and peaceful and
Yeah.
calm and loving.
Yeah.
But what happens when I'm anxious, angry, hurt, frustrated? You
Yeah.
know, that is like the bad part of me and I shouldn't look at it. No. So today we're going to talk about how to bring that to your life, to the table of the divine, and how to make good use out of an energy source that's like
Yeah.
fuel for a rocket ship. So
Ah.
that's, a little bit of the bigger picture where I come from. Um, we live normally in America, and right about now we should be traveling to do seminars in Germany, then go to America, do seminars there. And as of last year, I said to people, this will have been probably my last seminar I did. And they were like, why are you saying that? And I just had a feeling. And I came to America and felt like we will have potentially to deal with outages and shortages of various kinds. And since I didn't know what it was, I started preparing. And I asked other people who had very psychic abilities, and they all said the same thing. So it was in the field. And it's something that we as soul are meant to experience, because this is what will grow our character, strengthen our resolve to work with the higher resources. Because once you tap into the higher resource, you will be perfectly guarded, guided, and protected, and
Mhm.
be in the right place at the right moment, at the right time, and do the right thing, whether you are aware of it or not.
Right.
So that is something, that's the beauty of it. And the higher dimensions coordinate. So we are here because we knew we were coming to this point to evolve through this. So let's do this beautifully together and talk about ways of how to handle the negative emotions and make
Yes.
them our allies.
Yes, please. Because very often, Ilona, what happens is, and especially if you are a meditator, especially if you're on the path, there seems to be this obsession with being positive all the time. Right? And the minute you start having any kind of a negative feeling towards anyone or any situation in your life, or you start maybe even experiencing fear, you feel all the more guilty. You feel that you've gone backwards, you feel that I didn't do the right thing, and you start judging your own spiritual progress as well, or your own evolution. So when that happens, what how should we handle it?
Yes. Well, first of all, we need to realize we live in a dual world and we're going to have duality. It allows the divine to see itself. So, in that separation, it allows us to aim for union. I'm going to give you this picture because it'll make sense in a minute when we deal with our negative emotions. So we have duality. And as we have synthesis and antithesis, we create a thesis and antithesis. We create a synthesis that takes us to the next level, higher than we were before. So in the moment, and I'll walk you through two exercises. I'm going to give you three words to remember, and that'll make it very easy when we're done with this talk here today. You can take those three words home and practice them
Okay.
because it's in the practice that you'll get good.
Okay.
So let's just talk conceptually first. When there is the negativity, the opposite coin or the opposite part of the coin is also embedded straight in it. So let's look at something that I wrote about in my book, Wisdom of the Dolphins.
Hmm.
I was sitting in a train. I was leaving from one place to another place. Bonn. I was going to Stuttgart with Don to meet a friend of ours. This was 1989, and it was in August, and we had no cell phones at the time. But we left late. We only had a small window to meet our friend, and we were supposed to arrive on time. So I grew anxious and angry, and I was like, wow, our trains are late. And it was later by the minute, 40 minutes delay. And I was like really worried that I wasn't going to meet our friend who was a classical musician, only had 1 hour to pick me up. And I didn't know his address because he said, I am moving, here we are. So what do you do when we feel angry or frustrated? It's like we try to like go away, away. Yes, I'm feeling fine. So these are the three words you can do. So let's go. Stop. It's the first word you can remember. Stop. I'm sitting in the train. I stopped my emotions, my everything, and just took a step back. So stopping allows you to step out of your movie, the movie in which you're constantly watching the movie screen, and it allows you to um, take a look at the movie you're watching rather than continuously getting involved. It's like looking at a roller coaster from a distance. It's way nicer to look at it from a distance.
Yeah.
So there, that little roller coaster is going up and down, and you go, oh yeah, okay, so I'm upset. Stop. Now you're taking a look at it, right? It's the second word, look. Look at what is going on. And you become aware of your feeling. It allows you to become the light in the projector rather than the movie screen. And you look at what is going on. You become the awareness, the soul perspective that's shining the light onto the situation. I'm sitting in a train, I'm late, I'm upset. Okay, well, that removes you in a way out of the emotional entanglement, but it gives a higher function of your awareness a chance to look at what is going on and gives you, and this is the most important moment now, a chance to ask yourself, what do I really want? That is where the choice comes in. Stop, look, choose are the three words I want you to remember. Stop, get out,
Look.
take a look. You can feel, look at what is going on, look at that roller coaster from a distance, and then ask yourself, what do I really want? If I already had what I really wanted, it would be, for me, it would be on time or being meeting my friend and being sure that we have a good connection. Because if I arrived late and he wasn't able to pick me up, I would have had to go back in the train to where I came from. Remember, pre cell phone times, we didn't even have fax machines. So I sat there and pre envisioned and pre created the fulfillment of what my anger and my frustration actually wanted. See, I told you earlier, this can become, the negative energy can become the fuel for where you're going. So right now, it just gives us information, all right? We're choosing, okay, so let me walk you through it. Let's do it right now together. Close your eyes, and I'm just going to do it without not a guided meditation as such, but just as an exercise without music. Later on, I'll walk you through a lengthier exercise, maybe
Okay.
15 minutes, 20 minutes with music. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
So now, can you pick a situation that did not go as well as you had wanted to? Think of something that didn't go as well as you wanted to, maybe today or in the last couple of days, and just take a moment to think of it.
I think we'll all have so many. We'll have to choose.
All right. So just as you close your eyes, pick one of them. Pick one of those moments that didn't go well. Can be a small thing or wherever a bigger thing. That's it. So as you do, I'd like you to remember the situation. What was going on? Maybe you rerun the movie and remember what was going on. And also recall the feelings that you had in that moment when things weren't well. And then I'd like you to just stop that movie and step back for a moment out of that movie, but just being aware things weren't well. You felt hurt, upset, frustrated, angry, confused. And just notice where in your body you felt that emotion the strongest. Okay. And now I'd like you to just tune in and ask yourself, what did you really want to feel? If you could have your dearest wish for that moment fulfilled, what would it have been? And allow yourself, with that choice, also to feel the feelings that you would have had if that had gone as you would have liked to have had it. How would it have felt like? And make it a little bit of a living movie for the moment. Maybe it's a felt sense of fulfillment, a particular outcome, whatever it is, just a feeling that you would get if it had already gone as well as you had wanted it. And let that feeling flow through you for a moment longer and fill your cells, touch all your cells on your body, and enjoy that mini vacation of good feelings for a moment. This is the shortcut version of just becoming aware of having had a negative emotion actually brought you to a place of understanding what was really valuable and important to you and what your heart of hearts, your soul really desired. In a moment, I want to do a longer exercise where we're going to go through the step of merging the two energies and creating union of the polarity. But
Hmm.
for now, with just the three words that you can take home: stop, look, choose,
Choose.
and feel what you really want. How are you feeling? Pinky,
Amazing.
did it
That,
change you?
see, that works for me, Ilona, every time. Like this you taught me this, and you've taught me this, and you've done this with me, you've done this with my kids so many times, and it works every single time. I mean, for me, my experience has been that even old situations which I thought that I couldn't do anything about, they just suddenly transform themselves in some way or the other to make me feel, just better about them.
So, what we've done right now is just a short version. In a
Mm.
minute, Pinky, if you feel it's appropriate, I'd like to take us through a longer meditation, maybe 15, 20 minutes,
Yes,
where we go to what I've done with you and your son, which is the complete cycle of it all.
yes,
But I wanted you, especially since it's the beginning of our talk, to already have a tool in your hand and already have felt that the power of your negative emotion is actually pointing you in the direction of fulfillment.
right.
It gives you the pointer. What do I really want? Now, the magic lies in the fact that whatever you carry within you is actually the holographic radio station that you emanate to the universe, and that becomes the blueprint according to which the universe will rearrange the physical world for you. Now, the story goes for me, and we will go through all the steps in a minute. I will show you um, the completion of this, the magical step. How come you can take anger and then make it become a new reality? Um, there's another secret step and ingredient that we need to do to make it have the fuel become one with a rocket ship, right? To
Mm.
actually, right now, you know what you want, right? And already it feels better. And that's the most important step that you can take is listen to the negativity, no matter when it's saying something is out of order and where do I really want to be. Remember, the universe is always listening and is the big yes force. It says yes to what you carry inside. And if we carry this feeling, I'm not happy, I'm upset, and the big that and da da da, what is the universe going to reflect to you? The
The
blueprint
same.
of what you carry inside. If, however, you say, I enjoy, I want, I feel, and in my case, it was arriving on time and meeting our friend, and you pull that into your blueprint, guess what the universe is going to fulfill? And so when we arrived at our destination, and I've written in my book so many miracle stories that I went through or other people went through,
Mm, mm.
which show you using this process with a couple more extra steps that it shifts time space. It's not just to make me feel good, which is a wonderful thing already. All of us can probably feel that right now, right?
Mm,
It
mm,
shifted us into feeling better because we readdressed our focus into where we really want to go. Instead of saying, no, I don't want to go here, it's like, I do want to go here.
mm.
And the universe says, yes, okay, let's get the goal towards you. Well, when you realize, and with a degree of focus, the degree that you attach your consciousness to a higher source, a belief in knowing that the universe is listening, it fills the blueprint around you to the degree that you allow that to happen. So we arrived. Our friend was nowhere there. We had to go to another K because we arrived in the wrong K compared to where we were supposed to have been. But he said, meet me under the big clock. We went there. We were late. I knew it, how he was gone. Anyhow, I remembered that I wanted to be met by him, and I just actually trusted. I know by now that this works so amazingly well. I just said, well, Don, go look. Maybe he's around the corner. Not giving up, not taking no for an answer. Just as Don was going towards around the corner towards the place where the flower shop was, he comes walking towards us and said, Don, Ilona, what are you doing here early? I look at the clock. It looks like the clock has changed to an hour prior to that, but it wasn't the summertime, it was August. So it wasn't, I'm going like, what's the explanation here? We met, we arrived, we met, whether for whatever reason and why that clock changed right as I was looking at it, why he was there, we don't know to this date. I just know I've done these miracles over and over. And
You
when
still don't know why it happened, but
no, the thing is, we don't live in a linear universe as we thought we were living. We live in a quantum universe that adjusts its reality to the hologram or the energy field you hold within yourself. The only question is the degree of our belief that we can align with the fulfillment now. The moment you can step into the new blueprint and really feel it, things were like going hollow deck from Star Trek changes, and it's like, whoa. And um, I wrote in my one book, Dolphins, Love, and Destiny, a story. When I arrived in our home, we lived in Hawaii for 12 years by a beach with dolphins, where I did research with wild swimming dolphins. I arrived after having been gone for a few months, and on my little street, which was bordering a national forest, there were three junk cars piled up. And, I mean, that was the last thing I wanted to see. And as I drove by there, coming fresh from the airport, I thought, God, how did I deserve this? This is an important question because if you feel in your heart of hearts that you deserve better, you will get it. You will get what you feel you deserve. So I came in, packed, unpacked, sat to meditate, and I said, okay. Uh, oh, I have to tell you, my neighbor said, hello, welcome. And yeah, those three junker cars, I've called the police for the last 3 months. Nada, no way out. That's just what Hawaii does. They don't really care. So she had dealt with the authorities, which would have been my next step. So I resorted to my hologram universe and said, stop, look, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm hurt, I'm disappointed. I really can't take this dirt. It's untakeable. I want something. What do I want? What's my anger wanting? I want to live in paradise, heaven on earth. So I took this anger, and this is the exercise I want to take you through in a minute. We take the energy of the anger as though it's a living entity and say, oh, sweetie, red fireball, whatever. What do you really want? And then it tells us what it really wants. It wants me to be in heaven on earth. And then we take these two different energies and we say, oh, thank you to the old energy. You want something this beautiful. Thank you very much. Would you be willing to become this new energy now? And that's what I want you to experience in your own heart and body and feeling body. What happens when you take the old energy and let it become one? Remember, I said out of duality, we move into synthesis, and it takes us to the next higher dimension of manifestation. It doesn't take us out of Maya, it's all malleable Maya, but consciousness resonates into matter according to your predominant vibration. And if you can say thank you to the old because it's telling you what it didn't like, but it wants to get here and you use it as the fuel to manifest this, you get to be here. So after about 20 minutes of doing this process, I heard metal noises like, and I thought, could this be cars that are coming to pick up the junk cars already? I mean, I just
wow.
finished my meditation. Well, then I thought, we were just driving by there and they're building a house. Maybe it's them building a house. So we had to go shopping for food and we went for dinner that night in downtown Pahua. And so we drove off and I forgot to even look whether the cars were there or gone. But when we drove back, I'm like going, okay, let's see. We drove in and the cars were gone. The junk cars were gone. Gone. I had my paradise back.
Wow.
20 minutes of meditation, and the lady who had called 3 months worth of calling the authorities had moved the mountain.
Wow.
My reassembling myself at the point of reality where I want to be. And I'm asking you to do this now. Let's pick something you experience.
Mhm.
And, I grant you this takes practice.
Mm,
But to the degree that you develop trust in your capacity to be in your fulfilled future,
mm,
you will get there. Whether it's your enlightenment, Patriji says, be the Buddha now. Don't wait and make that vision like far away. Assume your mastership now. Get into the highest light and love emanation that you can be in now. So that is the description, a story to
yes.
go with it, and we can make it an experience whenever you're ready.
I mean, Ilona, this is just so amazing. So, a few questions that popped up in my mind while you were speaking before we do it, which might be
Okay.
relevant to some of the people, is that is it okay? I mean, the two incidents that you explained, they were relatively, not so life impacting in a big way. So is it, like, for example, there's like maybe health issues, relationship issues, like deep, like, which really affect our every single day of life. Can we do the same for that as well? I mean, does it work?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just when you are involved as part of the picture that has to change in order to get to the future that you want to be in, that it takes a little bit more homework. If you say, I want to be in wherever, like, the thing is, the universe has the same laws. It works on the law of resonance. Change yourself, you change the outside. Changing and bending time space to create an outcome that is impossible, which in this case, arriving time sooner, or having cars gone. I mean, some people would
Yeah,
think that's an impossibility.
it
The
is.
same
Yeah.
thing happened. I was a student of meditation, and when I was 21, I decided to follow the path out of India, path of the great masters, Shabda Yoga. And I remember Don Paris, who was my teacher, and I was sitting, and I was already married, studying philosophy in America. I was 21, and I had moved from Germany to America to be with my husband. And unfortunately, although he'd given me all the spiritual books, his passion in all ways wasn't my level of passion, neither for meditation nor for other things, if you get my drift.
Mm,
And he was like happy to read the newspaper, and I wanted to communicate. I wanted to go out hiking. He was happy to stay home. I wanted to make love. He was willing to wait a month. I mean, seriously. So, age 21, I'm like talking to my meditation teacher, and I say, I am just not happy. What can I do to my husband to change him? And he's like, well, my dear, you can wish for what really fulfills you, but you cannot tell the universe which face belongs to that fulfillment. Now, in my case, I had no children, no attachments, nothing else. Shifting that is a lot easier than if you have, in India, when in the middle of life you have children and grandchildren and aunts and uncles and mother-in-laws, and you go and say, well, I would like to have a fulfilled life. You get what you want, but it comes with the price of
with
letting
the
go of
price.
what
Yeah.
was previous, right? So to the degree that you're willing to take that big of a leap, it will happen. But to the degree that part of you says, well, I need to consider this and I need to be this, and this all has to work together, you can create a harmony considering all the ingredients. But you cannot force anybody
Yeah.
to fulfill you. You can create the fulfillment as we talked about, as a feeling.
Ilona, I'm losing your voice a little bit. Could you?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm saying you can create your fulfillment internally. And so this is what I did. I imagined the marriage that I wanted. I imagined the fulfillment, the passion for God, the passion for sensuality, the passion for hiking in nature, the everything I wanted. I imagined as if I had already received it. And then, although it took a little while, I found the fulfillment. I walked into it, but it put me through quite a few tests. And these tests took 2 years. I had to mature in my ability to believe in myself, to believe in the fulfillment, believe that there was true love, and to stand up for true love and not to go, I want, well, I'm saying I want it all on the silver platter, but you also have to give. Yeah, you have to change in order to become the person that's worthy of that fulfillment.
Yes.
So if we like to think of ourselves as I'm always the victim, I'm not getting this, and I always have to do this, some people prefer that, to instead of saying, I created this, I'm responsible, and I'm going to make the best out of it, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. See, some people want the fulfillment, but not do whatever it takes.
Mm, mm,
And sometimes, learning to, I want to consider especially the Indian society, which still deals with a lot more traditional values and is tied in so much more into the larger picture of the family. You're not only creating for yourself, you're creating together
yes.
with all these people.
So that was going to be my next question, actually, is that when we want to see something, see fulfillment, but it could potentially hurt somebody else, how does the universe work with that? Because that's something that would not just in a marriage situation, but in many other situations, it may, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I had a woman who took the course Living from Vision, and she envisioned, she said, I want to live like you, Ilona. I want to walk under the palm trees and have dolphins on by a beach.
Mm,
And she was a therapist in Germany and living downtown Frankfurt and had, uh, a row house apartment. And two children. One was age 4, one was age 19, 17, and a husband who was working. So, she did this whole exercise thing for a year. And then she's like, Ilona, something isn't working. I'm not having my wish fulfilled. What am I doing wrong? So I looked at her situation and I said, well, you have the 5-year-old, the 4-year-old, and the 17-year-old. And she told me they absolutely need each other. They want each other. They love each other.
your voice is gone again,
Okay, it's probably because I'm in Bali.
Ah,
Well, they need each other. The kids need
mm,
each other. So her as a mom equally cares about her children's feelings
mm,
as she cares about her own fulfillment.
mm, mm,
She may want to be by the beach, but she also needs to put into the picture the needs of her children.
mm,
So I said, well, in 2 years' time, when your child is going to school that is going to be 6, and the other one, age 19, will go into university and onward training, actually, it's a social non-military training.
mm,
Um, that's probably when you'll get your wish, because that's
mm,
when they will naturally want to go their own ways.
mm,
And it takes 2 more years.
mm,
2 more years went by, and she got her wish.
mm.
She moved to Bali, got to become the head of a retreat center, and then later invited me to come to Bali, which is the reason why I'm here.
Ah,
But one of her children was able to come with her and enter international school in Bali. The other one was going to stay in Germany and had to go to this, we call it uh, substitute training for the military for all people who don't want to join the military. They have to dedicate 2 years of their life to social service. These years, the last 2 years, they had time together and they knew they would have to split. The moment this naturally happened, the mom got her wish and she was
mm,
able to take everybody. Her husband also was at a transition. He was in the film industry and he needed to transition out because of aging. And when he did, they all had their wishes naturally fulfilled
mm,
in the natural timing that worked for everybody. She could have easily cut the cords and said, I'm going to be wherever I want. I don't care if I hurt or lose anybody. But she didn't. She wanted to make sure everybody was happy.
mm,
So she dragged herself through 2 more years in a way, but that was her choice, right?
mm,
So we consider all the players in our lives, and the bigger the players the field is, the more it'll take juggling until all of them are satisfied and their needs are addressed. But
mm,
most likely, we all have found the people in our lives that matter to us for a good reason. So to work things out together with them, sometimes it means to stand up for yourself and say, I've had it, no more of this. And it's what you need to do to be the better mom or the better example to other people. There are plenty of examples where women get battered and they say, that's it,
mm.
done. I'm no longer a part of it. So it depends on your lesson. But yes, that I hope is answering your question.
Yes, yes, Ilona. Yeah, very much so. And one of the questions that I know would be on people's minds before we start this exercise is, can we do it? Can we envision this for the current world situation as well? With Corona, and, can we imagine living in heaven on earth and just, being in that paradise?
Absolutely. You can live in your paradise. And that takes probably, I mean, if you only started today, it'll take a little while for that whole field to work up, right? It's the very first, I mean, first of all, heaven on earth is an internal state. It doesn't depend on how big of
Yes,
a palace you have around you.
of course not.
But if you envision, living in a certain style of life or having a certain degree of comfort, it will take time for you to build that out. I mean, there are little steps to be taken, but your little heaven on earth, whether it is a spiritual, emotional heaven or a physical representation for you, whatever that means, will come to you. Other people may choose other scenarios, but you will have to listen. Guidance will come to you. And we have put ourselves into the right country at the right time because we've listened to guidance up to this point. If we haven't, we can start today. I'm sure all of this audience is already listening to their inner guides, but it's the more you train, actually assuming that your guides are with you. And if you're still enough every day for at least 20 minutes, go into silence and open your heart and mind to listening to your soul and to your inner guides and make that connection, you will get information that will get you to your outcome.
Hmm.
Obviously, this is something I believe everybody already knows,
Hmm.
but how often do we tend to go, this is more important, I have to make breakfast for the kids, or
Hmm.
this or that. We have to take the time to go inward every day. It's the sharpening of our saw, it's the skill that we need to practice. And then you will hear the directive of what you need to do. And you will be urged or you will feel a desire to do things that will set you in the direction of where you need to be when you arrive at a point in time in the future. So, living in heaven on earth also can be done, that effect will affect other people around you. So, if you imagine yourself there, other people will join you. So, be willing to be in that place and you will find yourself in that reality.
Okay,
But
that's
I don't know.
fantastic.
I wanted to know if you wanted to say, can we with our thoughts change global situations? Is that what you meant to ask?
I was, can we apply the same kind of thing to, the world situation right now with Corona and things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have to realize that we got here because collectively we have admired certain things like technology,
Mm.
globalization, commerce, medicine. And so we have gotten ourselves to a point where countries and things are taking advantages. 5G is on everybody's mind. Uh, Surveillance, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I'm thinking personally, last year, do you know what my prayer was? CO2 being dropped by 30%.
Mm.
That was my absolute conviction. We will have that.
Right.
I didn't think of the price it may cost,
Mm.
right? So all of us wish to have a more sustainable life on this planet. All of us wished to have maybe more vegetarians on this planet.
Mm.
We're not quite sure how to get there.
Mm.
And then when some things happen, it will mean suffering to some, to the whole of us or some of us.
Mm.
But you know, if
Yeah.
now we say, I want the pleasure of luxury and the purity of this, and I'm not willing to pay a price, well, maybe that doesn't happen. But you can be in your heaven on earth while all the things that you value are happening, such as pure air, a humanity that's not growing like a mushroom,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Perfect, Ilona. Shall we get to the exercise then? And then we
yes,
can do that and then take questions from the audience because I'm sure they will have many. But at the moment we can just, dedicate ourselves to this exercise.
Okay, I'm going to play some music in the background, and Pinky, you'll need to tell me if the volume is good for me
Sure.
to talk on top of it,
Okay.
because I will do a guided meditation over top of
Lovely.
this volume. Is that good? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
can't hear the music.
you cannot.
No.
Okay. Can you hear it now? Oh, 1 second. I have to share computer sound. And now it's probably too loud. Okay. Can you hear it now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And if you tell me in between music too loud, then I can just adjust it a little bit more.
You can adjust it, make it a little bit softer so we can hear you also.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's go on a journey and elaborate on the 3 steps that we just went through, stop, look, choose, to really enter the quantum field of making a quantum jump into a new frequency so that you can create your heaven on earth or the fulfillment of your choice. Again, in your mind, just to get started, I'd like you just to go to a beautiful, peaceful place. This may be a place where you have gone before in nature, or you can make that place up in your mind now. And as you think of your beautiful, peaceful place, I'd like you to step right into it.
I made a prediction in 2016.
Sorry. Step right into it as you imagine touching the ground. Touch the ground with your feet as you step deeper and deeper into your beautiful, peaceful place. What colors surround you? Can you touch something? And I'd like you to just, for a moment, think about something that isn't going the way you would like it to go. Maybe it's a concern you have or a worry. Maybe there was something that upset you. Maybe there's been something that's been bugging you for a while. Just for a moment, think about something that isn't going the way you would like it to go. And as you think about this, I'd like you to just recall all the feelings that go along with it. What is it that's going on? And as you get clearer about what the issue is, I'd like you to just feel also the feelings in your heart, body, and your tummy that come along with that as you think about this issue. Just notice the feelings that come up inside of you. Is it feeling more in the front of your body or deeper inside? Just put your hand for a moment in that area of your body where you feel that feeling the strongest. Maybe in your heart, maybe in your belly, maybe in your throat. And now you can let your hand back down. And just notice if it is more in the front of that area in your body or deeper inside. And if this feeling had a color, what color would you give it? If it had texture, what texture would it have? Would it be thick, fluid, like a cloud, or heavy, like a stone? And if you could give it a shape, what shape would this color or feeling have? You can make it up. And just take a look at this. By taking it outside of yourself, and just take a look at this color, shape, energy, form, noticing the texture, the heavy or the lightness. And then I'd like you to ask that energy feeling what it's doing for you. Now, this does not need to be anything positive. This could just be what it's doing. It's been making you upset or hurt or make you be aware of something. Just what has it been doing? Maybe it's been disturbing things or making you aware. Making a fuss. Just ask it what it's been doing for you. And now, can you ask it, this energy that you may be able to feel or see? Some people see things more, some people feel it, some people just know it. Ask this energy what it actually really wants. If it could already have what it really wanted, what would that be? It could already have what it really wanted. What would that feel like or be like? feel what that fulfillment would feel like. If you could enter that fulfillment as if it were already happening right now for a moment for you to experience, what would it feel like? And allow it to lift you into the fulfilled feeling of what you really want. And allow yourself to see the colors or feel images that go with it, or the feelings that go with it, as if you could step even deeper into that fulfillment until you feel it with all the cells in your body. What colors would go along with this fulfillment? If you could give it some colors, this feeling, what feelings, what color would this feeling have? And what shape would it have? If it had a shape or an image, a form, a symbol that you can choose, what would you choose? And for a moment, let this feeling, the color, and the energy become even more brilliant, and let it touch all of your cells until you feel it in the center of your spine. Till you become the center of that energy yourself. And now I'd like you to think of that first old image where things weren't going well, where you were feeling that ungood feeling. And in your own way, thank that old energy because it had something so beautiful that it really wanted at its very core. Can you thank it for wanting something really beautiful? And then, can you ask that old energy if it is willing to become merged into this new energy feeling image of your fulfilled choice? Ask if it's willing to become one with what it really always wanted to become absorbed into its fulfillment. Is it willing? And whenever it is ready, go ahead and let the two meet. The old energy image with the new one. Whether you feel it or see it doesn't really matter. It's up to how you do it best. And let the old energy become absorbed by the new energy, by the new image, completely taken into and transformed into the fulfillment of what it always had actually really wanted. And as you do, let the feeling of fulfillment once again fulfill you, and you become in all of your cells that fulfilled feeling. Until all parts of the old energy are absorbed into the new energy. And let this new energy go through all of your cells, through all past memories of similar situations that had a similar negative feeling in the past, and let this new energy heal in your cells all previous old memories of a similar situation until all your cellular memory is also touched and transformed by the new fulfilled energy of your choice. And then, when you have had a good feeling for this, take this image, this symbol, this energy to your place of peace. And in your mind, I'd like you to create like a meeting place where your higher self can meet this new energy symbol, this representation of fulfillment, however it looks like to you, and bring it to introduce it to your higher self, however you might imagine having a higher self right there. The most evolved, beautiful version of your souls being clothed in light. Let the two meet so that they can, from now on, work together in your subconscious mind to help bring about that reality for you. And as they work together, ask that image if it has a job for you to do, a task that it would like you to do, to express something or to move yourself towards the expression of this energy in your daily life. Is there something that this energy wants you to do? Are you willing to do that? It may be a clear directive or a feeling. Are you willing to express that, to become that, or to do that? And with that, you can say goodbye to that image, symbol, energy in your place of peace and let it work together with your inner higher self to bring about that reality for you in the most appropriate way at the right time, in alignment with divine will. And with that, you can start taking a deeper breath. Start wiggling your fingers and bring that energy into your body. Moving your arms, stretching, breathing deeper. Bring that energy, bring that fulfillment into this room as you're sitting here with us and with all the people in the same circle of energy who are following this meditation around India and the world. Let them and you all let us feel together that we can be in a fulfilled future now. And as you do, you will start pre creating your internal experience first within, and then allowing that hologram to create the outer experience to match your inner world.
That was amazing. It was
How?
just, ah, I love that. I've done it so many times, but it's always so transforming each and every
I like how you look. You look so beautiful. You look like a
time.
goddess. You look like Kuan Yin looking at me or some,
Mm, well,
it's like, hmm? Well,
well, you always look like a goddess to me, so it just inspires me every time.
well, I think what happens is when we allow fulfillment to enter our heart, we create a new matrix, a hologram. And with that, we rise into a higher frequency. It appears as if we're in the same earth dimension, but we've just risen into our own higher capacity.
Mm,
And according to that frequency, we will create a new time space expression of everything. So things will align themselves. So
yeah,
every time that we're faced, remember, every time you're faced with something negative, celebrate, say hallelujah, take it as a platform to discover what the gift is and what you really want, and let you have it guide you into your fulfillment.
that's amazing. So, Ilona, if you don't
Mhm.
mind, we can take a few important
Yes,
questions.
of course.
Yes?
Yes, yes,
Of
yes.
course. So, okay, someone says, what if you can't feel the emotions that you're supposed to feel, either maybe even the very strong negative ones or the changing it into the really positive ones?
Right. Well, there is no such thing as not being able to feel emotions. I mean, there are, especially in the Western world, I think we men have been trained not to feel, and men in general, and in the beginning, have a harder time getting in touch with their feelings. But if you give yourself some time and you practice listening, just starting by body scanning, just going, okay, I'm sitting here right now. What do I notice? Am I feeling? Am I feeling calm? Am I feeling happy? Is there a tingle this? Is there an uncertainty there? And just notice by scanning what is going on. And you can make that a practice. Do that for a month, and you will attune your awareness to subtler and subtler signals. It's just we're not used to usually, especially if people consume whatever, meat or drugs or alcohol or smoke. It dulls the senses. So we need to refine our awareness, but with time, all of us will be able to feel and be able to feel what doesn't feel so good,
Mm.
and then also feel what is amazing.
Right. Okay, someone is asking, can you guide us on how can we deal with the fear of becoming sick?
Right.
I just felt it's a little relevant right now. So a lot of
Yeah.
people,
hmm
yeah.
Yeah. So if you go into your feeling body, where's that fear? Typically, fear is felt in the tummy, right? So you go into there and you give it a color, a shape. It's maybe red, it's maybe scared, it's maybe a black hole, whatever it is, and ask that feeling, what do you really want? It wants to be, guess what? Healthy, strong. And then you go like, well, how would you feel if you were already strong? Oh, I would feel this and that, and I'd get this color or that feeling.
Yeah.
Then you thank that old image of contracted energy and just thank you, you wanted that. So then you can move into that feeling of strength, radiance, and immune strength, vibrancy. Now, this becomes that image in your place of peace that's always with you. Now, you can go and talk to it every day and you can say, do you have some suggestions for me today? It may say, in the right moment, it'll tell you what you need, whether it's related to being careful or whether it just builds your T cell counts, your immunity, or it's giving you an advertisement that says vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C. Maybe you see somebody says, have you heard that high dosages of vitamin C actually, those people never get any bad symptoms? And then you go, hey, I'll buy that, and do
Yeah.
some vitamin C. That's actually, those are some of the amazing techniques that people have used
Right.
when getting anything like even a normal anything.
Right.
So high dosages of vitamin C in liposome vitamin C, for example, that isn't the acid kind, is enormously effective
Mm.
in staying healthy and having the environment in which the buggies don't live.
Okay. Um,
But what I'm saying is, when you enter that fulfilled feeling, you will draw to yourself the information. Suddenly it shows up. An
mm,
email comes in, a friend tells you something,
mm.
or you build the,
Right.
the self
It's
image
happened to
up.
us so much. I mean, if you learn to listen, it just comes from so many different sources.
And your own inner body starts suddenly getting all the,
Yeah.
you feel like, oh, I want to sit in the sunshine. I'll sit in the window and get light on my body.
Mm.
Open window. Okay.
So, somebody's asked a question. What about if you just leave it to cosmic energy, the will of the Lord, surrender to just divine intervention?
Yeah. Well, you have to realize that you are the funnel through which God lives. So divine will always will funnel through the shape of who you hold yourself to be. That's your subconscious beliefs, your fears, your anxieties.
Right.
If you leave them the way they are, it'll
Mm.
reflect to you what you have created as a
Right.
matrix. So what we're doing is we're up leveling our matrix. So we become a lotus flower, an opening lotus flower. Instead of closed, we go, hey, I'll open more to the love and light that I'm capable of being.
Right.
So you still open and surrender to the divine will. At all times, will you always say, the divine will always fill you. It will bring that fulfillment. It's not something you can go and grab. However, if we create this matrix, guess what you're going to get? When you
Yeah.
create this matrix, guess what you get?
Right.
And that is your job. You're the
Yeah.
hands and eyes of God. So open your matrix to a more beautiful expression
Mm.
of what's possible. And that's the job that we have to do in order to grow as soul.
That's a beautiful answer, Alona. I love that. A lot of people are asking about being disturbed in the night with anxiety, and if they wake up with this feeling of anxiety, is there a quick thing, or how do they quickly apply the technique that you
Well,
just?
honestly, there are three things you can do. Breath is an incredible method to calm your nervous system
Mm.
down. So the heart breath, which is like breathing into your belly, but also almost making it audible, like it's almost like you're running the breath down. not like really inhaling and outhailing, but like like
Sighing almost.
it's a very quiet sighing and
Mm,
like, and you can do alternate nostril breathing.
mm,
It calms your nervous system down and reduces the cortisol
mm,
that causes the anxiety. Going and doing gratitude exercises.
mm,
I'm laying in a safe bed. It's warm. It's cushy. I'm safe. I'm fine. Let's look at what's actually going on. There are no monsters. I'm fine, I'm happy. I'm grateful. I have food on the table. Whatever it is that works well, just remind yourself of that. Right now, it's okay. Right now, I'm good. And that breath, if you slow it down, combined with gratitude creates anti-cortisol
mm,
hormones in your
mm,
body. It eliminates that stress and pressure. So if you can do breathing, slowing down, and be grateful. Think of 5 things you're grateful for. I love the way my child looked at me yesterday. The sunshine I saw shining through the window was beautiful. That candle I looked at tonight was beautiful. Anything that gets the gratitude hormones going, which counterbalance the cortisol.
That's amazing. Team, could you scroll all the questions because we're already late? So I'm just going to pick a few which would be relevant to many people.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. Okay. So this is, does the manifestation depend on the degree of belief or does it depend on the size of the wish? In other words, the stronger you believe, the sooner you manifest, or the bigger you wish, the longer it will take.
Um, yeah, right. So practice makes perfect. There are masters who go like that and instantly. I mean, you have it in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Wasn't there uh, Krishna? Who was it? Created the entire golden city there. It depends on how much you've understood that God is all that there is, and that the rest is Maya, and that if you are in right alignment and you truly feel that what you wish for is for the greater whole, the more quickly you can manifest. I have had students who manifested the most outrageous sums of money, like just under $1 million, but they wished for money for an orphanage in India. It was a German doctor, a naturopath actually,
Mm,
and he wished the most impossible. He said, "Sure, I'll dream big, 800,000." So he got it in 3 weeks.
wow.
I've had people say, "Oh, well, I want to listen to this opera, Phantom of the Opera." They come home and their daughter just had bought the CD. Well, there was the wish, right? It You can do the gamut. So yeah, you probably already know it's the intensity with which you can enter the fulfilled future
Mm,
and with which you can align yourself with God in oneness, that you can see the miracles happen around you. Yes.
amazing. Okay. Yeah, I think this is another one which is very common to many people, and I think we started with that, but we can just touch upon it very quickly. Is, when you have this cycle of negative thoughts again and again, it's like a broken record in your head, and a lot of people don't know how to just step out of that. It's a daily thing. They're in this every day. So
So how to get out of the negative cycle?
yeah, when it's
Stop.
like, yes, just
Yeah, stop, look, choose. Stop, look, choose
stop,
again
stop,
and
look,
again and again.
choose.
It's not that negativity will end because, hey, did we just realize it's our friend? Why run away? It's like, okay, hey, I'm just catching myself again at thinking I'm not worthy,
Yeah,
I'm not good. What did I really want?
yeah,
Okay. So we will eventually, actually, slowly but surely, step into higher games of more positivity. You will, with time, be establish yourself at higher levels of frequency. It's the nature of evolution.
yeah,
But within that, you will find yourself oscillating up and down.
yeah,
Um, Take it as an opportunity and say, hey, there's a negative emotion. Thank you for pointing out what I really want. What do you really want again? Ah, yes. Okay, that's what I want. Just
yeah.
always go into your fulfilled future.
Right, right, right. And sometimes when you try and perhaps push away the negativity too much, it just keeps coming back stronger and stronger, in my experience.
Well, if we push things back, it just asks you to to like a good friend, it's like it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Oh, you're my friend. I want to I want to be listened to. And then you finally listen to that pain and you
Yeah.
go, oh my God, you're so amazing. Um, it's the same thing with money, with everything. The fear of not having money, or the feeling of, let's honestly, I have people who are saying this in seminars like, okay, I want more money. What is it? More is more. What? $5, $10, $100?
Mhm.
You need to be clear of what you want.
Mm.
And then you need to be able to really want that. Let's say you jump octaves, like, people are making, I don't know, whatever, a certain amount, but they want to be here. Well, set intermediate goals and focus on them until they manifest. Focus on the next one until they manifest. And you will get to your final goal, whatever that is.
Right.
Now, what a lot of people do is like they say, yes, I want to have all that money. But then they don't listen to the parts that don't.
Mm.
The part, and I do this in a role play usually.
Mm.
There's one voice maybe that I remember the woman says, um, well, my family is going to want to have a part of it. As soon as I make that much, they are going to try and borrow from me and I have to give them all the
Ah,
money, right?
right.
And then I have to say no, or do I have to give it away, or what happens? I don't even want it. So that voice, we can say, don't raise your voice. It's bogus. But that is a true part of our subconscious as
Mm.
well. And if we address it,
Mm.
how do I deal with that situation when someone comes up to me and says, I'm in need? How do I say yes or no? Or will I always say yes? Or shall I say no? That can create enough anxiety where we say, let's rather not even go there, right?
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying is, when you say, I want more money, and there is a belief in the family that says you have to work hard for everything, and this is just other people make money, but us,
We
that
don't. Yeah.
belief, we have to deal with that ancestral belief system.
Mm.
When we do, and when we discover what that family ancestral belief really wanted, we do the same thing. We transform it into its fulfillment. We then have a positive ancestral feeling. The same thing is with, I'm a woman, I never get heard, I always suffer. Men always get what they want. Men are men are men are, and women are whatever.
Mm.
The truth is, we incarnate continuously more and more and less into male and then into female. So, whether you're female or male now, it will change, guaranteed. So don't project all the negativity on the other sex, because you will sooner or later be that on that side, just to forgive yourself for the thoughts you have now. So make friends and become empowered and ask for what your need is. Be willing to listen to yourself and
Yeah.
all the voices within your subconscious. And then you work together as a team to get to your goal, guaranteed.
Yes. Yes. If we calm down our vibrations, and if someone else is annoyed or irritated, can we affect them in a positive way?
Well, okay, so is that in a home situation where your children, husband,
I
wife?
mean, I'm guessing, or maybe close friends, or maybe a colleague, or employees, or something like that.
Right. So, first of all, we need to understand that um, pulling up takes a little bit more energy than pulling down. So, if you're with someone, you have to be aware the tendency that gravity is a little stronger on this dimension. To change someone to a higher frequency, if that's your wish, it might be better to step away and go into your own feeling. However, let's say somebody is desperate and has lost their way, like needs a doctor, right? Is gotten, can't do it
Loss.
themselves,
Yeah.
lost. If they ask for help, even sometimes, a kid says, "Go away, leave me alone," you go like, some need to be held. Some children need to be held. Even myself, I need to when I would get into feelings of like, "Nyah," which happens, I had to teach my husband, if I say go away, it really means come closer. So, so it's like, okay, go away, but come
Uh-huh.
closer, okay? But there are men who, like, if you hug them, they go like, leave me alone. Men need to
Uh,
be in a cave. They need to calm down,
yeah.
and they need to really calm their nervous system down. So if a woman goes like after the husband and goes, no, 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 I want to hug you, I want to do to you what I know I need, it's the wrong thing. So give them, male, the boys or the husbands, the chance to cool their jets and then say, I'm still there, I love you, what do you need? Yeah, we need to understand that we have a chemistry that's different. Females need typically something else than males. We do need to understand that. We used to be out in the wild and the men went hunting, and if they would have not been cool when the tiger came and would have screamed like the women do when they see a mouse, well, the game would have been over a long time ago. So men are different in their way of handling it. So the yes, you can bring people up, but I tell you, this is what my husband once told me when I was like, you're not doing this right and you're not doing this right. He said, Ilona, just pretend I'm an angel in your imagination for a while. And I might just start acting like one because the who you see is your reflection of what you expect to see. It's your subconscious reflection. So change your inner world first, and then your outer world will probably follow.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I have seen this to be true so many times.
Mhm.
Tech, can you please take out this question and take me to the other chat, please? I've seen some other questions there that I just want to answer. Up, can you scroll up? Yeah.
There's somebody who's raised their hand.
Yes.
Divinia.
I don't remember where I saw the question, but that was this. Yeah, can you take me down? Can you take me down? I want to answer this question. So this is important, Ilona. How do you think of things, you transmute them, you do the exercise, you're doing everything right, and sometimes you just have to be patient, right? And sometimes it's difficult to be patient. So somebody's asking about the patience it takes. Um, is it when the timeline isn't really like you start getting restless and thinking about the timeline and things like that?
So repeat that question because I was reading some important questions that I want to address as well. I happen to find out how I can read the questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so how to be patient, how to develop patience, how
Yes,
to be
how do you
patient.
be patient with the time it takes to manifest you to a really happy higher
Self.
reality? Yeah.
Well, what else can you do? I mean, honestly, you can't push it, can't rush it. So you can only do the best right now. There were people who were asking, what can I do on a daily basis, like to go to sleep? Well, it's the same thing. What do I do when I'm enlightened? It's the same answer. It's basically you take your next step. Now, for example, a person who feels restless and not in touch with themselves, do a meditation before you go to sleep. I can give you a link for free. As a matter of fact, um, I didn't prepare that, but if I
No,
can,
we can
if
email the participants later. I mean, they
yeah,
can send it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I have
yeah,
an app, and I would recommend starting your day and ending your day on a positive note,
yeah.
listening to your soul and pre-envisioning your day, and
Huh.
then ending your day in gratitude. Honestly, people have written it's the best sleeping pill ever.
Yeah,
When you finish a day and finish unfinished business, that's when you go into completion. That's when you feel at peace, and that
yeah,
inner peace will translate into good hormones, into feel good chemistry, and then will take you into a higher dream state. There was one question that I said is what when you get into higher enlightenment states, what's next, right? I mean, this will not apply to a lot of people, but I think it's a very good question. You are, well, there are many stages of enlightenment. There isn't a final, this is enlightenment and then it's gone. It's like it will be, out of body existence. No, as long as you have your body here, you deal with polarity, you deal with positivity and negativity, but you master time, space, and positivity and negativity to a different degree than somebody else. So the ultimate test is how much you can hold the polarity of any kind, always in both of your hands, and be balanced about it and see it, and you become the synthesis. So ultimately, the next level of enlightenment will be shown to you, because
Mm,
it's it's like you will be the greater transmuter of polarities,
mm,
and you will see the results in your ability to transmute time space around you into heaven on earth,
right.
and creating that for yourself as well as for others. So your circle of influence will become larger and larger, and you will become a global contributor to peace, or
Mm,
to evolution and enlightenment, by simply holding that field in yourself. But
mm,
all of us have different degrees of mastership.
right.
So it doesn't really matter whether I'm this far along or this far along.
Sure.
It's the mastership that I am asked to master right now that is all that's asked of me.
Yes. So, before a lot of people, because we are over time, as you know, Ilona, when you and I get together, we're
I
always
know.
over time. But before everyone starts dropping out due to time constraints, I just like you to mention the Living from Vision course, because many people are asking how they can manifest, and I think that's a good way to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The fundamental answer is practice,
yeah.
and it's learning how to.
Mm,
And there is a lot of talk about, you have to visualize it and visualize it. Well, not everybody's visual. Some people feel more, but you have to manage to be in the fulfilled future now. And magic will pull you into that reality. Now, you have to also address the parts of your subconscious that are not in alignment with that positive goal. And let's be honest, there are different voices and parts within our subconscious mind, uh, that may pull in different directions. So we need to align all of them into one direction, and learn how to unify our psychology into the direction of becoming. And truly, this is the only purpose we have on life, is to exude more love, to share more love, and to share more light than ever before. Whatever that amount is, right? That's what is our evolution.
mm,
And putting our attention at a place that is beyond time space is the first state. So, with living from vision, we go through 5 steps and stages of learning how to dream big, how to create and work with our inner guides, how to create a positive felt image and a future fulfilled, how to do stop, look, choose. In the second week, we learn how to address problems and transmute them. So we learn this technique that I just did with you
mm,
and repeat it. It's on an app. So you have 5 guided meditations for different mornings, 5 weeks in the morning, 5 different guided meditations for the evenings, and 2 extra ones, the transmutation one and the pre experiencing success, to create 5 weeks of solid training of 40 days of moving into the direction of exemplifying success and fulfillment. And in the third week, we practice pre experiencing success and how to connect to your next level of your ideal self. See, it's
mm,
like enlightenment, it comes in stages, it gets greater and greater and greater. And in the fourth week, we deal with what our fundamental values are and developing ethics so that we actually create in harmony with our deeper values. And the fifth element is how to uh, let go, how to work with the higher forces of the divine universe and in harmony with the divine. So these 5 elements over 5 weeks in the self study course, you work through about 3 hours once a week, and then every morning about 12 minutes, in the evening about 12 minutes. Is available. I'll send you the link for that where people can
yeah.
get it, and then you can
This
pass that
link
on.
is they've put the link on the chat. They've put the link, and we can email it to
Awesome.
the
Awesome.
participants later.
Thank you. I think that would be the best thing. You can look at, check it out, see
Yeah.
what's all there.
I mean, I think
Take
it's
a
an
look at it.
amazing course. I've done it.
Oh,
I've done many, many manifestation courses. This is not the only one. Read many books, but this is the one I feel personally, which is very comprehensive. It's very classic. It's been taken from beliefs which are very rooted in ancient science and universal law and knowledge, and it works, guys. So
it works.
it works. So
I
I think
think
it's a great time, and I think Ilona's given everyone a discount as well. So I think it's a wonderful time.
Yeah, but
You emailed me something. Sorry if I'm wrong.
yeah, I will.
The
But
proceeds
it's
are going to
no, I'm going to give you a coupon code, but I
right.
have to mail that to you. So
Yeah.
let me do that. Okay,
Okay, yeah. So
it's a
you
code.
can mail it to us, and for those who want it, email us on Thrive, and we can send you the coupon code. And she's also giving the proceeds to NGO, and yeah. And there's no time like today to actually go and do the course. I mean, you have all the time in the world. Let's use it to create, dream
Oh,
big.
I mean, if you can take this time to realign your thoughts in the right direction and come into fulfillment, this is the time to use lockdown for you to become a shining
Yeah,
light again. I
yeah.
mean, bar none, people do this course again and again and again, and they go like, oh
Yes.
my God, I get better. I get better. Things get bigger and bigger and greater in my ability to create more love and light and manifest my dreams. So
Yeah.
join me on that excursion, but I'm so happy to have had this time with you and all these experiences with all of the participants.
It's always an honor, Ilona. I consider myself so lucky and so
Me too.
blessed
Me
to
too.
have found you in my life and to be able to offer your wisdom to so many others.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you and Thrive for doing such an
I
amazing
hope to be
service.
in Bali very, very soon with you and the
Yes.
dolphins.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Love you.
I love
Bye.
you too. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Everyone. Thank you for everyone for listening.
Yes.